Hey everybody! Hi, how are you? It is Monday night, and do you know where your quilt nerdery is? It's here. It's here. It's right here. I hope I don't have pistachio in my teeth. Cindy, if you're out there, I hope you are. You asked for the chips. You asked for me to eat a certain kind of chip. Elmer's New Orleans Cheese Wheeze. Cheese barbecue cheese curls, and I really want to eat them, but I can't right now. But I will one day. But right now I have to fake it. So I looked at the bag, and it's got this cute little mouse on it, and so I made a bag like that. And so anybody who wants me to eat a certain kind of chips, you will also get a custom bag for the kind of chip you want me to eat. Because we do things like that on the show, on Quilt Nerd. And if you've never seen the show before, we don't teach you how to make quilts on this show. We talk about their history and the context of them, and the context in which they appear. Maybe we talk about really old quilts. Maybe we talk about brand new ones. But whatever we do, we have a good time. And there's I don't know. We're on an off night. And some people who didn't see the show on Saturday won't know that we're on tonight. But usually we have a Tuesday night show. But this week is a big week because American Quilt Study Group has their annual seminar this week. Many of you know about this, but both Stephanie Cake and I are going to Louisville tomorrow or Wednesday. And so it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. There's so much to do. So we're doing tonight, the Tuesday night show tonight, and hopefully some people will tune in and we'll see what we can see. Okay. And tonight's show won't be the normal, kind of luxurious 2-hour affair. We'll have a shorter show tonight because we gotta get rolling. But I like to give you what I promise, especially to the subscribers who support the show. Your support means everything. And I owe you an apology too, not just the subscribers, but everybody, because Saturday night stream did not have sound. I did 2 tests today. Some of you caught that, but I did 2 sound tests that were both successful. We haven't had a problem with sound in months, but on Saturday's show, the replay did not have sound, and it breaks my heart, like truly, because then we don't have the show for our records. You don't have the show to enjoy, especially if you're a subscriber. You should have that. So I apologize. I ran 2 tests today. I did the thing that I needed to do for tonight's show, and we should be good, definitely. And it's a ghost in the machine. What can I say? I did nothing. I did nothing different, but it changed. So I have a checks and balances quality control check that I'll do before every show, and hopefully it won't be a problem. So, Stephanie Cake, how's it going? Good.
I've been packing tonight.
You've been packing. You're packing some. I was going to say you're packing some heat, but that's not. We don't have to say that. Why do we have to say that?
I'm packing some quilt history heat.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm heading out tomorrow. I think you're heading out tomorrow too. Or are you?
Actually, no. I was going to maybe go tomorrow, but I don't have to be. I go very early Wednesday. Yeah. Louisville, I'm excited to be there. I hear there's like a whiskey tasting or something, some sort of reception action. That's right.
I think every minute of our week is like super packed.
It's true. It's really true.
It's gonna be fun.
Yes.
Busy.
It will be busy. And in fact, before we look at the intro quilt for tonight's show, we're going to look at quilts from Kentucky tonight. I mean, that makes sense, right? So we'll look at a few quilts from Kentucky. Let me get small really quick and show you. Whoa, what's going on? I want to show you. Whoops. Hold on. I want to show you just a bit of a schedule update. I've shown it before, but I just want to pop it in here again really quick. The schedule update, so you know this week what's going on. Okay, so tonight you are here with the bonus show, and we won't have a show tomorrow. Thursday, I'll stream live at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Friday, I'll stream at noon Eastern time. I don't know what it'll be, but we'll be live from Louisville. definitely make sure that you're subscribed and follow Stephanie Cake, because she also has a Twitch channel, and she will be live. You know, you'll be live. You're gonna pop on, right? I don't want to commit.
At some point.
Right.
At some point.
Just subscribe and follow and turn on the notifications for Stephanie Cake and Quilt Nerd, and you'll get a notification on your phone, and you can tune in. Yeah, Tuesday, Saturday, no show. We're not no shows, but there's no show. Okay. Yeah, so I hope everybody's well. I know a bunch of you are going to be there. I'm so excited. And yes, exactly. Robin, it was a software update, and it killed me. It killed me. All right, so we're going to get rolling. Now, I will say it's possible that we will have a guest tonight. It's true. I told the gals on the Slack, I mean, he might be watching. It's possible. So I work in a co-working space. The floor 7 in this building is co-working company, whatever. And I see this person, you know, he's like walking around, and like I'm walking around, but we've never actually met. But today he said hello, and his name is Zach. There are a number of people named Zach on this floor, but his name is Zach, and he was very nice. And he asked me about live streaming, because this whole, you know, I have a whole rig here. Got, you know, green screen and lights and all this stuff. And so he was like, you know, he said something about it, and I was like, yeah, I do this thing. And I gave him a bookmark, and we started talking. And he's super nice, and he wants to do some YouTube videos and things for his own work, and maybe even live streaming. So I was like, if you want to do that and see like how I set up, like you should just come by, because he works late too. It's like me and Bonnie and Zach. We're always here. So I was like, just come and watch me set up, and I'll tell you like how I set things up. And then I was like, you should come on the show. If you want to like see what it's like to live stream, just like come on the show. I don't know if he will. I hope he does, because it's just like, you know, whatever, man. It'd be great. So we'll see if Zach shows up or not. I don't know. I'd say it's about 50-50, but he's always welcome. Okay. So maybe that'll happen. Zach, I think it's Zach. Yeah, exactly. So, because the thing is that I, you know, used to stream in my office, but there's no room in there right now. So I'm here in the conference room. Everyone can see something's happening. Okay. So, nice, the shout out. That's so good. That's so good. You got a shout out, Stephanie Cake. Cranky McNoPants, you subscribed at tier 1. You've been subscribed for 4 months. That's so great. I really appreciate you. And all the people who subscribe, you are so precious to me. And Jill Alex subscribed at tier 2. You've been subscribed for almost 2 years. I love it so much. We love it so much. We love to see it. Join us in following Stephanie Cake. Oh, hell yeah. I love that. Okay. And hello to everybody. We're gonna move on. So, you know, I want to get to some quilts, and, you know, we have a special guest. I don't know. Maybe he's hiding. He might be hiding. Okay. So this quilt that we start with, we always start with a different one. Perhaps I should probably close the door. Yes. All right. Hold on. Just a minute. So this book, Kentucky Quilts, okay, 1800 to 1900. I mean, this is a classic. If you buy this book used, it's out of print. It was published in 1982. 1982. It was one of the first books published as a result of the quilt documentation projects that were happening. I think, depending on who you ask, Kentucky was first or Tennessee was first. I'm not going to wade into that controversy, but different people have different thoughts on this. I mean, maybe. I'll ask Mary Kay Waldvogel at seminar in a couple days to be like, break it down for me, Wald. Who was first? Was it Kentucky or Tennessee? And she'll tell me, and she'll probably be unbiased, even though she lives in Tennessee. Anyway, this is a really great book. And it really is one of the first that came out. It's beautifully done. Jonathan Holstein, my darling, he wrote the introduction. And there are wonderful quilts in here. And the cover quilt is the quilt you see before you. And Cake, this is an iconic object. What, are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I mean, it's, once again, modern art.
Yeah, I mean, like someone made this. It's like, you don't need to make this to make a cover for your bed. You just don't. It's too hard. It takes too long, maybe. It depends on the person. But I mean, it's extraordinary. It's an extraordinary work of art. And I don't know. What do you say about this? And here, and you know what I think, I could be so wrong, but I swear, I think we might see this quilt at seminar. I do. I swear.
Really?
Yes, because the exhibits, God, I didn't just take that whole cloth from my imagination. I swear that I heard there were Kentucky quilts that were going to be shown. I don't know.
I know that there's one of the field trips I know might be quilt related, but I don't know. I think the field trip I'm doing is Locust Grove and the Kentucky Historical Society.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe they will have some quilts.
Maybe they will have some. They probably will.
I would love to see this quilt in person.
Me too. I mean, I don't know. Like if Finn McCool's in the chat, she might be able to tell us about the exhibits. I don't know. I missed that moment, but I could have sworn. So, but regardless of whether we can see it in person, and believe you me, if we can, many pictures will be taken and posted. Not by me, because I just can't do it, but other people will post pictures of this, and please follow any Quilt Nerd, that has an Instagram or whatnot. A beautiful quilt. Oh, so let me tell you about it, what we know about it. This quilt is in the book. It's a star or sun variation, a unique design. The family's name for this design is Kentucky Sun. Kentucky Sun. It's pieced, and it was made by Nancy Miller Gritter of Russell County, Kentucky, circa 1880-ish. It is wool. 75 by 62. And it was, at the time of this book's publication, it was in the collection of Ida C. Waltz. W-A-L-T-S. I believe, well, no, if at the time, okay. Many of the quilts in this book, I don't know, can I say that for sure? I don't know if I can say that for sure, but I know that Shelley Ziegert, who is one of the speakers, Laurel Horton is the keynote speaker this year, but Shelley Ziegert, the great Kentucky quilt collector, author, curator, dealer, an extraordinary person who I enjoy very much. We've talked a couple times over the past months. She will be giving the address, I believe the luncheon thing. Yes. Looking forward to seeing her. Anyway, she's had many of the famous Kentucky quilts, have sort of passed through her hands. I think she's a very prominent lady in the Kentucky quilt scene. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of these quilts that are in this book. Oh, actually, no, in this book, but also in a different book. Okay, actually, here's what we're gonna do. I actually want to look at this first. So this book, we've just got two books to pull from today. This book we've seen before, A People and Their Quilts, okay, by John Rice Irwin, with photographs by a guy named Robin Hood. No kidding. Oh, and by the way, Molly, thank you so much for subscribing at Tier 2 for another month. You've been subscribed for 22 months or something like that, and I really, really appreciate you. I cannot wait to see you, as I told you in a text. I like being around you. It's facts. Deal with it. I can't wait to see you. Okay, so this quilt is called Wanda Bird's Crucifixion Tree. I mean, when I saw this thing, we have to look at it. We totally have to look at it. Hang on, I just want to make sure my display is as bright as it can be up there. Just one second. Yeah, okay, yeah, good. It's good. So this book is what does it describe? I mean, this guy in 1984, I think, John Irwin. Yeah, 1984, John Rice Irwin traveled to Tennessee and Kentucky, and I think down in Texas for a little while, but he documented a people and their quilts in Appalachia, and he interviewed lots of people about the quilts that they made, and it is a tender, respectful, generous book. He interviews people. It's an oral history project in many ways, and it's a wonderful book. And if you don't have it, I think you should have it. When I show you a few of the quilts from the book, you will agree that it's really worth having. And I looked through the book for Kentucky quilts only, and I found them, but there were a few I had to show you that are actually from Tennessee, but you know, it's okay. There's no hard and fast rules. So this quilt is the Crucifixion quilt, okay? Wanda Bird's Crucifixion quilt. This is very interesting. 33-year-old Wanda Bird of Walling Creek, a coal mining community. Oh no, this is Kentucky. Okay, a coal mining community in southeastern Kentucky. So she was 34. This 34-year-old woman made this. She was anxious to talk about the quilt she had made. Wanda's explanation of her crucifixion quilt discusses the symbolic Bible, the vine and branches, the church, and the cross. She says, quote, "Well, Jesus died on the cross for the sins of the world, and faith comes by hearing the word. So we go to church to hear the word. And the Bible is the word of God, and the vine that goes around is where he says, 'I am the vine, and you are the branches.' And we, the Christians, are the branches." Pretty simple, right? Sounds pretty good. I have the resurrection I want to do. And Jacob's dream with the angels coming down and going up the ladder. There's a lot I want to do. I just want to, when I go to church and I hear our pastor give a sermon, I think how good that would look on a quilt. Because I think on a quilt it would witness to people. It would speak out. Because when people look at that, they know, maybe mostly only Christians, but it seems like everyone would know or would question as to why he be hanging there and why he die. And he died for our sins and the sins of the world. There's so much talent in quilt making, and I always wonder why there isn't something concerning the Lord when he's given us all these talents. Oh, look at that church. That's great. And I thought that this is what I want to do for him. I want him to just use me in any way he can, that he may be glorified through my hands, through my work. I give him all the glory and the praise. Nice. So nice, you know? She's like, I want to witness to people. It's great. It's great. It's a great quilt. So 1980, 1980 up to 1984, she would have made this. So it's interesting because a lot of the people in the book are much, much older. Okay, so let's look at oh my God. This quilt. I almost put this as the intro quilt, but then I was like, when you hear about it, you'll understand why I was like, maybe it's not the intro quilt. Are you ready for this? You ain't ready. You ain't ready. You're not ready. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's page 30. Okay. Oof. You ready for this? Okay. Did she do others, Mother Nature? That's a very good question. I don't know. There might be some more information in here. Angelina, hit me. Okay. There might be more information in the book about her and her quilt making, but yeah. Get the book. It's so good. Okay, here we go. You ready? The bed sheet and wash towel quilt. Zach, if you're listening over there, you don't have to know about quilts to come over. Okay. Here we go. A woman who had been confined to a mental institution in Nashville for over 60 years, since she was a teenager, made numerous quilts, principally from bed sheets. She unraveled towels, washcloths, and rags for the colored thread she used to create the various designs. The staff didn't quite know what to do with her creations, so they sold them for a few dollars on behalf of the persevering quilter. I hope they gave her the money, or her family. Anyway, Dr. Nat Winston, who served as the Tennessee Commissioner of Mental Health. Let me show you the whole thing again now that you kind of understand what we're looking at here. Dr. Nat Winston, who served as the Tennessee Commissioner of Mental Health, bought one and had all but forgotten it until he had gone through his good quilts, then remembered having this one packed away. Although each of the 9 squares is different, there are similarities: the flag, the people, and the children. the chickens. Sorry, the flag, the people, and the chickens. Nat remembered that the people were purported to represent doctors and nurses who treated the quilter, and that the relative size of their likeness on the quilt symbolized her regard for them. Amazing. The institution included a farm, and this may explain her familiarity with chickens. I mean, they don't say her name, which I wish they would. I suppose that's find-outable. A mental institution in Nashville that was there.
Did you say what year it was?
No, they didn't, but I wonder if you can... Well, Nat Winston, you could track down Nat Winston when he was alive, when he worked there. I mean, it's definitely find-outable. And you could say, that's a research project. Ripe for the pickings. Incredible. And they would have sold these quilts of hers. She made numerous quilts, they say, from bed sheets. You could, they would have been sold locally, They weren't sending them to New York, right? So it's really, really interesting about this person. I don't know. So let's see, who did she not like? Who's the smallest in here? These people. Ooh, I see two ladies. Maybe she didn't like those people.
So if I'm looking at the correct Nat Winston, which I think I am, Tennessee's former commissioner of mental health.
Yes.
He was active from 1953 to 2013. So
wow.
I'm guessing then that this is probably somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Very, very interesting. It's an incredible quilt. I mean, the chicken, just this sort of, when we talk about folk art, folk art is an art that is passed down through the people, right? So you're not formally trained, you're not professionally trained. You learn how to make quilts, you learn how to draw a chicken, from somebody else, or, you learn how to draw from someone in your family or your community. You're not going to art school to do that. Somebody sort of teaches you, here's how you draw, or here's how you look at a thing and represent it. And these chickens are they're wonderful, right? Just the way they're rendered. Look at this little dog, It's so good. It's so beautiful, right? Drink wine and Celine. That's what I'm talking about. He treated Johnny Cash? What? That's amazing. Oh my God. And
helped him end his addiction to amphetamines and barbiturates.
Are you serious? That is so great. And the Carter family, Sarah Carter, so he married June Carter, Johnny Cash did, and Sarah Carter, we've talked about it on the show. It was a while ago. But Sarah Carter made quilts. God, that is, please, someone.
Oh, wait a minute. This is even better. Johnny Cash would later go on writing music together with Dr. Winston, including Tiger White had a song released on his 1975 album.
No.
The Johnny Cash Children's Album.
No. That's a news story. Eva, I keep forgetting I've got to put your name on the soundboard so I remember to do the chip report. Oh my God, I did the chip report and I didn't do the Eva thing. God. Sorry. I'll fix it on my soundboard because I need your name on it and then I'll do it. Or a bag of chips. I'll put that on the soundboard. Okay. Anyway, an amazing quilt. So much fun. So great. This is for you, Steph. As you go into your study center presentation, this is a Kentucky home, I believe, from the book. There's a Baltimore album quilt on the wall. The quilt that is from Kentucky is the one that's on the rocking chair. This basket quilt is from Kentucky, but I was like, oh, cool, a Baltimore album quilt. Just as and actually, when I opened this book, it was the first picture I found, and I thought that was in the best possible way, a good omen. Anyway, so, but I also love how this is decorated. This room, to me, this is working for me. The carpet, I don't know. But this table, all day long.
Those window treatments.
Oh yeah.
My grandmother had those.
What's that?
My grandmother had those.
I'm kind of into them.
They are an absolute nightmare. You have to vacuum them
Oh, yeah.
They puddle on the floor. There's like miles of ruffles. It's insane.
Listen, when I looked at this, I was like, okay, I love the quilt. The quilt is fitted perfectly to the wall. I mean, it's also the photograph, but like I love the squareness of it. It looks great. It's an amazing shape. I also love this table. I mean, I don't know if it's shaker. I don't know my shaker table like stuff, but it's very, very beautiful. The trunk, love it. Love the quilts, love them. Rocking chair, who doesn't love a rocking chair? And then I saw the curtains. I mean, the carpet, yeah, I could do without. But then I saw the curtains and I was like, do you actually love them? And I decided that I do. I do love them. They seem very like, they look like knickers. Knickers or like, you know, petticoats or something. There's something, they're very feminine. I mean, could they be more feminine? I don't know. I'm into it.
They're very petticoaty.
Petticoaty, yes. That's a new word. That's happening. Petticoaty. They're very petticoaty. I don't know. There's like a little bit of When Harry Met Sally, kind of 80s Laura Ashley situation type deal. I don't know. I think it's good. Cottagecore, whatever. But yes, what a nightmare. And also, I don't mean to be like, I don't want to gender curtains or anything, but like, Eric would not like them. You know? I mean, let's be honest. Like, he would be like, where are you going to put, I mean, no, he just wouldn't. So anyway. Yeah, okay, wait a minute. You know what we're going to do? Yeah, we're doing a poll. Oh yeah, we are. Take a good look at these curtains, and I want to know yes or no curtains, okay? We're starting the poll. It's going to be a quick one. I want you to know. Okay. Petticoaty curtains. Yes or no? Yes. No. Okay. That's it. 3 minutes to vote. You got to vote here on Twitch if you're watching elsewhere. You got to come over here to have the most fun of watching Quilt Nerd. And yeah, so vote. You got 3 minutes to vote. What do you think? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Oh, let's make sure we see the bottom. I mean, look, if you just saw that, you'd be like, that is a lady. That is the hem of a lady's garment, right? And then, but no. Yeah. Okay. Take a good long look. We're going to move on. But in 3 minutes, I'm going to let you know what your comrades think of this. All right. So here. Oh, this is great. Look at this one. Okay. I'm hiding the little dog. We have to look at the little dog. Okay. This quilt is called the Dream Quilt. The Dream Quilt. Page 168. The Dream Quilt. Okay. And this is from Kentucky. Okay. James Hooper of Knoxville has an unusual old quilt passed down to him from his great-great-grandmother, Sarah Elizabeth Burke. Always called this quilt the Dream Quilt. James pointed this out because of the story told by Granny Burke. In a dream one night, she saw this pattern, and when she awoke, she drew it exactly as she had dreamed. Later, she used the pattern in making the quilt shown here. By the way, so it doesn't have a date on this, but when I did the math, there's 2 more paragraphs of content here to read about this quilt, but when I did the math, I mean, I would put this quilt dated to like 1890-ish, because I know it looks contemporary, but here, so you can help me. You all can help me, definitely. Okay, according to information supplied by James, her great-great-grandson, okay, great-great, right? Sarah Elizabeth Gibbs was born in Whitley County and married Judge Wilson, who was later bushwhacked. What? What does that mean? What? Hold on. What? I don't know what that means. Yeah. Oh God! If I said something really messed up.
Bushwhacking is something of a violent nature.
What does it mean to be bushwhacked? Bushwhacked. Oh, God. Oh, no. Ugh. Oh, God. Okay, bushwhack. Past tense, bushwhack. North American, Australian, to live or travel in wild or uncultivated country. Okay, but that's not to be bushwhacked. To engage in guerrilla warfare. Okay.
I think that's the one.
It used in a sentence, the loyal men of the neighborhood bushwhacked and made the place too hot for them. What? What does bushwhack? What?
Yeah, Sherlock said ambushed and yes, attacked.
God help me. God. This is how people get into real hot water, you know? You read something and, you know, I'm responsible for the content on this channel. Jeez. Ugh. Someone clips something, you know, me saying something horrifying and, you know, it's over. Okay. Okay, so I mean, really. So anyway, let's continue. Judge Wilson, who was later bushwhacked, she then married Dick Burke, okay, and moved to Goin, Goin, in Claiborne County, Tennessee. Okay, Sarah is reputed to have made many quilts and to have dyed the fabric with walnut hulls and natural dyes, other natural dyes. Wow, maybe that's kind of what we're seeing. I mean, this sort of salmon color, and you know, the color in the photograph, you know, might not be exact or whatever, but these are very, these colors do not say 1890 to me. Now, let me see if I'm even right about that. In this last paragraph, you can help me.
They look faded to me. They look like they were once like a brick red or a dark red and black, and that they've been washed a million times.
There you go.
Looks like to me.
Yep.
But yeah, if they were naturally dyed, that also tracks.
Yeah, right? It's sort of that muted kind of thing. Yeah. So Sarah died in her 90s. This is the math part. Sarah died in her 90s in 1950. Okay? Near Middlesboro, Kentucky. Her will specified that certain quilts would go to her grandchildren. The dream quilt was left to her grandson, Richard Woods, James Hooper's great uncle, and it was from this family that James acquired the dream quilt. So if she was 90 and she died in 1950, right? When were her quilt making years? Of course, she could have made it late in her life, but they don't say. Also, in this book, they don't have dimensions. Otherwise, I would share that. So, you know, yeah. I know I want the whole story too, Molly. All right, let's see a couple other ones. It's already 7:45. We gotta watch out. For those of you who are missing the show tonight, like, yeah, you'll have sound. I mean, oh God, help me. But you will. So, okay, here we go. This is really interesting. Wait, hold on. I want to do this one first. Yeah. This is great. So, this is Ethel Hall and her daughter. And this is very important stuff, right? This quilt is a tack quilt, T-A-C-K. And it's made of overall material. Obviously, we don't have the color, but you can tell. Look, you can tell. Look, there's a pocket. You know, we know these quilts. We know what they look like, what they feel like. You know, these overall quilts, breechy quilts, they're often called. And so this person, this John Irwin writes, a few miles southeast of Hazard, Kentucky, in the village of Jeff, I saw an old gentleman working in his garden. And he talks about meeting this man. He helps Irwin to get to a woman who makes quilts. He said, if I was interested in quilts, I'd have to see his wife, Ethel. Okay, this is Ethel. When Ethel came to the door, she had a large butcher knife in her hand, holding it in such a manner as to cause some apprehension about her intent. My first impression was that she was going to the creek meadow below the house to get dry land cresses and other early plants for dinner, and this turned out to be the case. But you know, I should say, so I was reading the Freedom Quilting Bee history book by Nancy Callahan not long ago, and you know, when Father Xavier, Francis X. Walter, was coming down there, and he was an Alabama boy, the priest, you know, who helped the Freedom Quilting Bee get started. I mean, it's crazy. Like when he first came around to ask the ladies about their quilts that were hanging up on the line, they ran. Many of them ran from him and hid from him because conditions were so bad down there, and white men coming poking around their house, bad. It was always bad. It was never good. And so he, was trying to inquire about these amazing quilts that he was seeing to try to help the women. He was there to help, legitimately help. And a lot of them were like, nope, not interested. And they ran away. And this community as well, like, poor, economically challenged, stressed out people who, are eking a living out of the earth. Some guy with a photographer comes around and, somebody comes out with a butcher knife. I mean, it's just like, I'm not saying she was going to murder them, but it's interesting context, right? When these guys come around with gear and notepads and stuff. I mean, yeah, there are people who do not like that. They do not trust that, right? It's interesting. And that's true today, right? So anyway, so he asked her about her quilts, and she made, there's so much. It's great. Question and answer, she answers so much. But so this one I just wanted to show partly because it's a great picture. Glasses, yes. Cake, they actually kind of do look like your glasses that you're wearing right now. And I mean, I love them so much. Like, I just love that style and her hair. But these kinds of quilts, they show up everywhere. They show up all over the country in different places and different communities. There's no particular style of quilt that one cultural group makes only. Just good to see these examples, right? And then there's this one. I had to show this. Fascinating. So this is the back of that quilt, okay? Now, if you're looking at like material culture and like what, objects do over the course of their lifetime, this is wild. Look at what this, so they're in Kentucky. But what does this say? Casina Lactica, 30 mesh extra, sand core. I mean, Sunchales, peso bruto, 50 kilos, Industria Argentina, made in Argentine. So this says the back of the overall quilt is made from fertilizer sacks, which apparently originated in Argentina. That's the back of that quilt. That's what it is. Amazing. It's so cool. It's so cool, What an interesting object, that tells the story of the world. I mean, certainly of the United States and Argentina, obviously. And there's one other one from, let's see, Clemmy, Ethel. No, I don't know. I didn't bring it up because I knew we didn't have that much time. But there's another quilt that he shows that's made of tobacco sacks. And it says, hold on. It's she has a tobacco sack quilt. Actually, it's another woman, but she says, quote, "The top of my quilt is made from Bull Durham tobacco sacks and hits as good as any material you can buy. My husband started working in the mines when he was 11 years old, and he worked there till he got the black lung when he was 48 years old. He had all the miners who worked with him to save them little tobacco sacks, and he'd bring them to me to make quilts. He was a good daddy." Unquote. Oh, God. Sorry. Yeah. Very good. So let's see. There's just one. Oh, I had to show you this. This woman is in Tennessee. I know, right? Oh, God. So I just love her. I love that she's pointing to the quilt. I love her face. I love everything about it, right, Cake? I mean, she's like, yeah, this is my quilt. This is a quilt I worked on. It's perfect. I know. I love her. The grin. Yes, Eva. Exactly. It's just great. I mean, God, the dress, the cardigan, the stockings. Come on. But it's just wonderful.
Somebody said, Miss Eddie, why don't you point to your name on here and I'm going to take your picture.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Exactly. She's so lovely. And yeah, I mean, like doing quilt photography with people, like I've never thought it was like a great idea to have them be like, but I have changed my mind. It's wonderful. And then, okay, there's this one. Okay, yeah, and there's just one other one. Yeah, I had some other stuff, but it's already 10 to 8. So I promised cake and biscuit and pie. I promised the girls that we would end shortly. We would keep it short because we have to. And Robin was like, "You've got a lot to do. Don't make it a longer show, even if you say it's going to be short." Well, when you say it's going to be short, it needs to be short. So that's what we're going to do. There's one more quilt, and then an author photo. Okay, so this is also very interesting. So Mossy Beeler, I left the caption on this, 96, and her slave quilt. Okay, so again, like, these topics, quilts made by enslaved people, quilts made in collaboration with their masters or the people who, their owners. That happened, right? It happened. It's real. Like this quilt is in this book, and it's interesting. And I do, screen material. Obviously, this show is an exploration, not a presentation. So I scanned, the text about this quilt, but I didn't read it all. I mean, it's not gonna be pleasant, but it's just really interesting. So let's see about this quilt, right? Because it's very interesting. And this woman is 96. This woman here, okay? Here's what Irwin writes. Big Valley is one of the most beautiful valleys in East Tennessee and was among the first to be settled. Okay, Big Valley, one of the first to be settled. Starting in 1784, the Sharp family, and this woman is Mossy Beeler, okay? Starting in 1784, the Sharp family settled there in what is now Union County, an hour's drive north of Knoxville, Kentucky. There were few slaves in this area, and during the Civil War, almost all the people were either neutral or sympathetic to the North. But some of the larger landholders had a few household slaves, and the Sharp family, including Fletcher and Maverna Sharp, were among this group. They lived in a large, white-columned brick home. A mansion by Tennessee standards. One of their household slaves was a young black girl named Rachel Sharp, who was set free, probably as a result of Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863. Like many former slaves in that section of the valley known as Sharp's Chapel, Rachel continued to live on the old Sharp place after she was freed. She married Tom Palmer and made this quilt for Sarah Sack Sharp, the mother of Mossy, this woman, okay, the mother of Mossy and the daughter of her former owner, okay. Sack used the quilt a good bit, this woman, okay. Sack, so this woman's mother, okay. Sack used the quilt a good bit, Mossy recalled, and upon her death in 1935, it fell to Mossy, who cared for it ever since. Mossy was born in 1887. She early became a self-reliant woman and learned the art of farming and cattle raising. She helped embalm the dead, deliver babies, and she learned to make quilts. "Oh, I've made many a quilt," she said. During this time, according to her son Woody, she raised 33 boys and 3 girls. These she brought to her home. Oh my God. These she brought to her home from a Knoxville Institute for Homeless and Orphaned Children. Oh my God. Of those 36, she adopted one, whose name was Woody Williamson. Woo! I've brought old relics and antiques. I've bought old relics and antiques from Mossy for many years and found her to be a most shrewd and able trader. As Woody says, quote, "She can trade with the best of them," unquote. She had a large farm, worked hard. Hey, Chartreuse, thanks for following. She had a large farm, worked hard, managed well, was extremely thrifty, and eventually sold her chattels and hundreds of acres and retired to her orange groves near Oakey, Florida. Sold her chattels. What does that mean? I mean, I know about chattel slave, but that's not what this means.
Chattel, well, as a legal term,
yeah,
it just means like your stuff.
Okay, got it.
Your durable goods, like farm machinery, household, like furniture and stuff. That's chattel.
Okay, which is why the other. Yeah,
there's chattel slavery, which is
why it's so horrible, right? Why it's so terrible. Okay, all right.
Yes, treating people like objects.
Yeah. Okay, so then it finishes. When she learned of the quilt show at the Museum of Appalachia in March of 1983, she had Woody call and tell me that she was coming. Indeed, she did. She traveled several hundred miles, confined to a wheelchair, with her treasured quilt in her lap. This quilt. The quilt, according to Mossy, was made from cotton and tow, T-O-W, tow? Yeah, which is a form of flax, hence linen. Right, tow-headed. If a kid's tow-headed, light blonde. So this quilt was made from cotton and tow, which is a form of flax, hence linen. It is stuffed with cotton. The applique pattern is unknown to the author. Brackman could tell us. She'll be in Louisville. This is, I mean, if you... Okay, got it. Hey, Sohani. Oh, my God, girl. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy. To see you. Yeah, I agree. Kick-ass. I mean, she really kept this safe. She kept it dear. It's very special. It was her mom's. She knows the history of it. And she raised 33 orphans. I mean, well, and a girl. Interesting. Lots of boys, no girls. She was like, I don't know what to do with girls, but I will help these little boys. So incredible, right? Incredible. It's a great book. It's so good. And you can get it through Abe Books using our link, and we get a couple tips in the tip jar, and that makes a difference. Here's the last picture for tonight, and we're gonna go, it's 7:57 Central Time. We're doing great. Just wanted to give a shout out to the people who produced the Kentucky book. There's a good picture of them in the back. Like I said, my friend Jonathan wrote the introduction. He wrote a lot of really great pieces for books that were published around this time and later, of course. But so he's not in this picture, but he was he's in the book as the introductory writer. Hey, oh my gosh, Dat-der. Thanks for following the stream. I hope you come back around. And these are the people who are the production team in the Kentucky book. And I just wanted to focus on this lady, because that's Shelley Ziegert, who will be... Somebody loves Shelley. Hey, Blue Angel, thanks for following. She'll be speaking in Louisville. So, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes when I've streamed live when someone's speaking, it's not always that great, right? Because, I mean, you can only get so close to a person. I don't know if it's worth it sometimes to, live stream somebody speaking. I mean, it's so static. You can't get angles. I can't bring up images on screen. I think the best thing is when we get back, to show a bunch of Shelley Ziegert, for example, to show Shelley Ziegert's quilts, and then share about what she said. I think that's a better way to do this stuff, because production value, it does matter to me. It does. And, right, Cake? Don't you think?
Yeah, it is tough. If you get in a spot that's good to capture a lecturer and the sound and the view, then you're basically in front of other people that are there. So.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, unless you have a tripod, it's this. It's like if you're like me in school, you were like, call on me, and then you had to be like, because they didn't call, because you always raise your hand, okay, except in math class. Let's be honest. Mind your business.
And there was no monkey business about it either.
It is 8 o'clock on the dot. 8 o'clock on the dot. I don't think this has ever happened before. I'm going to do a quick show. And it's I don't know. No, here we are. I love all the follows. Thanks, everybody. Angelina, you gifted a tier 1 sub. Oh my gosh, you gave it to Samu Barb. Angelina, thank you so much. You get the kitty. Look, at any time somebody gifts a subscription to someone else, you get the kitty at the sewing machine, which is the best thing I've ever seen. Okay? It's the best thing I've ever seen. Except Sohani, hello. Angelina, thank you so much. Calamity Cortez. It's great to see you too. I'm seeing some people I haven't seen in a hot minute. Thank you for subscribing at tier 2. You've been subscribed for 7 months. You're on a streak. It is great to see you. And so the sewing kitten is the best. And also, I let people know on Saturday. Is that right? Or was it at the special stream yesterday? I think it was Saturday. Yeah. We have an official closing now to the show. I've never really known how to end the show. It's always been kind of hard for me to know because it's hard for me to say goodbye. I keep saying goodbye. But now we have an official way to end the show. And it's this, okay? So if you haven't seen this before, I will explain that Eric found this on Twitter. And it's a poem. It's a, 6-line poem by a 6-year-old named... Well, is it Niall? Someone can help me, actually. Is it Niall or Neil? I'll put it up on the...
I think it's Niall. I think the way you spelled it the other day, it sounds like it's, one of those funky spellings, but it's Niall.
Niall. Okay. So this was on Twitter somewhere. I'm not on Twitter. Eric is. This poem, to me, is... it's perfect. And I mean that. And I love it. And so at the end of every show, I'm going to read this poem to you. And that's how you know it is the end of the show. I care about you all very much. I love everybody in the Lurker Lounge who doesn't involve themselves in the chat. I love that. I totally get it. Respect. And just thanks to all the subscribers. And thanks for watching the show. And good stuff's happening all the time. So come back. Oh, yes. Thank you, Eva. Thank you. Here we go. Let me move myself over here, actually. Okay. The Tiger by Neil, age 6, from They're Singing a Song in Their Rocket. The Tiger. He destroyed his cage. Yes. Yes. The tiger is out.
The tiger is out, y'all.
Yes. Yes. The tiger is out. Love y'all.